You are watching Rio Home Living. My name is Becca, and we are making homemade bread. I made a brioche loaf. It's warm and fluffy and has a little bit of sweetness to it. And I made a beginner-friendly French bread loaf. This is definitely one you want to start off with. So in a bowl, we are going to combine a quarter cup of warm water, a tablespoon of sugar, and 2¼ teaspoon of dry yeast. You want to make sure the water is about 100 degrees, not too hot, not too cold. And you're just going to mix it up. This French bread is totally beginner friendly. And you're going to cover and let it activate till it gets foamy. Then you're going to add a cup of warm water, 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon salt, and 4 cups of bread flour. I just added all the dry ingredients to that green bowl, and then I added it all together to the mixing bowl. Then you're going to mix till this is combined. And once it's combined, it'll come together, and then you're going to knead that for 5 minutes. You're going to place that in an oiled bowl, and you're going to cover and rest for 15 to 30 minutes. Make sure it's in the warmest spot of the kitchen. So now we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to roll it out. I'm on a bread journey, you guys. I refused to work with bread before. And I hated making biscuits. And I just decided my kids love bread. My husband loves bread. Why not save money, do it myself? This is where the kids can help. They love rolling out dough. So if you have one that's interested in the kitchen, definitely let them help you on this part. So the dough was a bit tough, but the house was like way too cold, and I think that's why. Because the second time I made it, the kitchen was a lot warmer and the dough was a lot softer. But again, this was my first time, and it has gotten much easier the second and third time I've made this bread. So it's just a learning curve. The first time you probably won't be so happy or excited, but once you get the hang of it, it's definitely a lot easier. Okay, once it's rolled out flat, it's going to be like a 6x9. You're going to roll up and you're going to fold in the ends. I could have done this a lot prettier, but I didn't know how it was going to come out. And then I just sliced a few slits on top just to make it pretty. And you're going to let this rise again for 15 to 30 minutes, just so it gets a little more fluffy. And this is where I slice halfway. You can definitely slice down the middle too, if you don't like those diagonal cuts. You're going to cover and let it rise for 30 minutes. And this is River. He's my little sidekick. He loves to help me out in the kitchen. He definitely loves playing with dough. Whenever I'm making tortillas, he always has to come in and help. Now he said the dough was sticking to the counter, so I told him to add a pinch of flour, and he added the tiniest pinch. It was so funny. And yes, he washed his hands. I always make him wash his hands before he helps me in the kitchen. He complains about it, but he does it. I always let him help, even if I don't feel up to it, because I don't want to discourage him if this is something he wants to do later as an adult. You never know. So I like for him to help me out. And after this rises, you can add an egg wash. And then you're going to place in the oven at 425 for 18 to 20 minutes. And the internal temperature should be between 190 and 200. That's when you know it's baked all the way through. And this is a beautiful French bread recipe. It came out great. I was so impressed with myself, this being my first time. This goes well with spaghetti. It goes well with any seafood dish. As a dipping bread, you can place oil on a plate with some herbs and garlic. It's so yummy. My family loves it. Now we're going to start with the brioche. We're going to add 100 milliliters of warm milk, 25 grams of sugar, 5 grams of dry yeast, and 4 tablespoons of bread flour. And you're going to mix this till it's smooth. And then you're going to let it rest till it gets foamy. Now, this recipe is a little more advanced, but I challenged myself to do it, and it came out really good. It just takes so much time, this brioche. So see how it's smooth? You want to mix it till it's nice and well combined. And you're going to cover and let this rest in a warm spot. Now I'm going to mix up all the dry ingredients, which is 375 grams of bread flour, 50 grams of sugar, and a half a teaspoon salt. I was a little annoyed that I had to measure in grams, but it's just a more precise type of dough. Now we're going to beat the eggs really well. You've got to beat 3 eggs. Now I added the yeast to the dry ingredients, and now we're going to gradually add the beaten eggs. This recipe definitely took me a lot longer. The kneading and the rising of the bread, it took a while, but it was definitely worth it. This is a dough that I would make for special occasions like Christmas or Thanksgiving. just because it takes so long. Now, once you're done adding the beaten eggs, we're going to gradually add 1 stick of room temp butter. Make sure it's really soft. And then you're going to knead for 20 minutes. I thought this was crazy, but it worked. And you're going to add to an oiled bowl, and you're going to cover and let it rise for 45 minutes. And this is how it comes out. It was super soft, super tender, but it was really fun to work with. Now you're going to divide this into 6 balls. So you're going to cut it in half first. And then you're going to cut into 3. And I buttered a bread pan and I lined it with parchment paper. Just because I didn't want all this work to go to waste. I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to stick to the pan. And this is the fun part. I think River was playing outside at this point, so he didn't get to help me with this part, but it's okay. He'll help me next time. And you just roll it up into pretty balls and place them side by side in the pan. Oh, I forgot to mention I made homemade cinnamon rolls for my dad's birthday, and I will be sharing that recipe in the next video. It was so good, you guys. Everything was homemade. The dough, the sugar cinnamon mix in the middle, and even the cream cheese icing. It was so delicious. Now we're going to cover and let this rise for 45 minutes, and it will double in size. They're going to look so pretty. Now we're going to beat 1 egg with a splash of milk and beat it really, really well. That way it all gets incorporated. You don't want chunky egg whites. I've made that mistake before. And then you're just going to brush on top. So in the next few videos, I will be focusing on some DIY ornaments for Christmas. I'm so excited. So stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will be sharing more recipes. Now this part, brushing the egg on top, would be fun for the kids too. Get them involved. And you're going to place this in the oven for 30 to 35 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And the internal temperature should be between 190 degrees Fahrenheit to 200. And here it is, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I'm on a bread journey. Nothing comes out perfect the first time. But if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. Again, my name is Becca, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.